Salmon are virtually synonymous with British Columbia. Yet these iconic symbols of the West Coast have seen a drastic decline in their numbers over the last century. Their journey begins in the spring after hatching in rivers and streams. The tiny freshwater fry gradually migrate to their saltwater home in the ocean.
We're getting on towards the peak of salmon migration downstream, and there's probably into the millions now out in the estuary right now, coming down from the Courtenay River, the Solom River, and all the other creeks that flow through Courtenay and Comox. These are baby chum fry. They were spawned, their parents were adult salmon, probably from the Courtenay River last fall, and they were eggs in the gravel last winter, and they've come out into the estuary now.
Project Watershed, in partnership with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, is undertaking studies to increase salmon survival rates.
The estuary is a very, very important habitat for juvenile fish, because it's the place where the river meets the ocean, and there's nutrients that come down the river. There's also nutrients that come the other way from the ocean, and they meet in the estuary, so it's extremely productive. And lots of habitat that juvenile fish like. There's lots of food for them to eat. Also, it's a place for them to sort of linger for a few weeks until they can adjust to salt water.
Some fish can only tolerate certain levels of salinity, especially when they're first coming out of the river. They can only handle very fresh water. And as they live in the estuary for a while, it provides a transition where they can tolerate salt water.
We monitor the fish in the estuary to see things like how fast they grow, where they're moving to, and see how healthy they are, and things like predators, and especially habitats that they like. This is what we're really trying to focus on. The little bucket there with the net, that's the anesthetic. They've taken a length, and LORA's now injecting the little fluorescent tag in the fish, the first one right now. It's a little tiny hypodermic needle with a fluorescent dye in it, and she just injects a tiny little bit under the skin right by the tail. And it doesn't seem to affect them. They seem fine, and it lasts about 3 months. And the hope is that we'll catch them again in another place and be able to track their movement.
37.
This kind of habitat here is ideal for salmon, especially this type of grass right here. This sedge here is when the tide floods in, the fish move through that grass there. There's all kinds of insects and bugs living on that grass, and they're very important habitat, this sedge type of habitat in the estuary.
Dredging, landfill, and development have seriously depleted natural salmon habitat, leaving few places for them to feed or to hide from predators.
Part of the report is going to identify areas of important habitat, very sensitive areas for fish, and perhaps help us to identify the type of habitat we want to recreate in the future.
These little guys being returned to the lagoon are helping science make that happen. To find out more about the estuary and keeping it living, contact Project Watershed. In the Comox Valley for Shaw TV, I'm Rita PICARD.